Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the Whale Nerds Podcast. This is episode number 97. My name is Slater, and I'm here with Adam and Caitlin.
What's that?
Hello.
I think that was the fastest intro ever.
Yeah, I was like, you're speed racing there. Adam's got glasses on now.
Yeah, because he's fast.
I'm trying to protect my eyeballs because I sit at the computer all day long. But Slater told me it's all just a sham, so I just wear them to look cool.
Sorry, dude.
It's all good.
But Gunner Glasses is making good money.
Oh my gosh, this is not a sponsored podcast.
This is definitely not sponsored by Blue Eyes lenses because apparently they don't work.
It is sponsored by the Whale Nerds, where I have this cup and it has wine.
Oh my gosh. Anyway, Slater's having a great night.
The reason I did the intro so fast is because I'm ready to get into it. I'm ready to hit him with what we got.
Well, yeah, you want to talk about all your cool sightings that Adam and I have not had.
Yeah, you suck.
But I want to start with a few.
That's not why, actually. I forgot I even had sightings. Just had so many of them. Oh.
Wow, dude, you're just going to dust us like that.
Oh, yeah, he did. Well, I want to start with thank you, everyone, for supporting the podcast, listening to it, rating it, reviewing it, sponsoring us on Patreon. That really helps us continue to make the podcast and finance it. And we really appreciate you all. So thank you for following along with us. We're getting closer and closer to 100 episodes. So very exciting.
That's when we're going to retire the podcast.
Whoa, what?
What?
You're making decisions without us.
I didn't know about this.
We're just retiring you, Adam.
I can't be retired. I'm only 23 and I have like nothing in my savings.
Spend it all on your drone.
Welcome to being a photographer, dude. Every time you finally make money, you're like, oh, that's a new camera that just came out.
Like, that's exactly what happened.
And then just a couple announcements. For those of you that know what the Whale Tales Conference is, it's normally Valentine's weekend in Maui. Last year it was virtual. Well, this year it's actually going to be in March. So for those of you that don't know what Whale's Tales is, Whale Trust puts together a conference every year. It's typically in Maui in person, and there's lectures and fundraising and networking and all kinds of cool stuff. There's expeditions and whale watch trips with different scientists and all that kind of stuff. But this year it's going to be virtual again, just because COVID is very uncertain for large event planning. So it's safer to do it all virtually. But they actually have to delay it to March. So they don't have a date yet, but it will be sometime in March, and we'll keep you posted on that. We're actually going to put together a little presentation for the Keiki, or the Kids Corner, at the conference, and we're very excited to attend it virtually. So just keep that in mind. We'll update you as we know more. And then you can check out our website as well for merch or anything like that.
Or for some of the best Christmas gifts known to man, which are whale watching trips.
Yep.
In April.
Yeah.
With Caitlin, Adam, and I.
Yeah, we'll all be there for the April trips. And they're sold as single day trips, but you're welcome to book more than one. If you want to stay for the whole weekend, you can. And they're going to be out on the High Spirits with Blue Ocean Whale Watch. You can book them on thewhalenerds.com/trips. And we would love to see you in the springtime. We're hopefully going to be looking for big killer whales, but there also should be humpback whales around, variety of dolphins, maybe gray whales, blue whales, fin whales, who knows? So April's a good time of year to get out on the water early in the day and just see what's going on, because every day is pretty different. So we're excited.
Yep. Been excited for April every year since I found out Monterey was a place. And I've literally missed I don't even know, every single April. You know that almost every
single one.
Yeah, except for this last one. I finally was living here.
What do you mean?
Did you have a boat yet though?
I don't even know how to explain it, Adam, but every year for some reason I've been out of town or moved back to Newport, or no. I've seen them. 2017 I was here.
Yeah, but we didn't go out nearly as often. I mean, we went out almost every day.
It was the start of the company, Adam.
Yeah.
And then 2018, I moved back to Southern California for a quick minute. And in 2019,
2 predations?
Oh, I've seen like 6 predations, but
what are you complaining about? I've seen
But
0.
it's more than just that for the
not the
spring
predation,
season.
bro. It's like the whole thing.
Yeah.
All the opportunities of different pods coming in. You cry one day, the next day you're happy. You know what I mean? Like what's going on, you know?
Well, and then
I cry every day.
Yeah,
every night.
You cry all the time. Anyways.
Yep.
But that's when you get like big mixed groups of dolphins and sometimes lots of blue whales
and lunge feeding.
Yep. Yeah. So it can be more than just the killer whales, but the killer whales also do cool stuff. So
I remember last year we went on Slater's all-day trip, and it was the day before the predation. And
whoa, dude!
I was so bummed, but then I went back
to
Santa
Barbara
and I saw killer whales.
Days.
Yeah, Adam had killer whales on the same day we had like a really epic encounter.
Yeah, it's just funny. Like they just show up at the same time. It seems like something's in the water.
Yeah, gray whale babies.
Oh. Dead
Anyways, how about those sightings, Slater? Adam, have you seen a whale since last time we recorded?
Let me tell you. Let me hit you guys with Adam sightings.
Whales.
I haven't.
Listen.
So how about that?
Adam went out, had a beautiful few times on the water over the last couple of weeks, and it's very, very glassy blue waters, and about 1,000 common dolphins on every trip. I can't say it. In your last one, you had one humpback, right? You had like 1,000.
No, we've been having humpbacks. We had like 4 humpbacks one day, then we had 2, then we had 2, then we had. The last day we were out, we had 1, but it was super foggy, and so it was Devin and I, and we did the old listen for a humpback trick.
Oh yeah,
through the fog, and then it was actually really good. We've been having lots of dolphins, which is always fun, and it's been really nice weather. But yeah, the humpbacks are definitely thinning out a bit. A lot of them moving south. But we did have that one humpback in the fog, which was super fun to be able to track it with our ears. I was like, Devin was down driving the boat, and I was up on the flybridge, just like turning my head, just like listening for him. And I'd hear him like, all right, he's at your 11, book it. And then like you'd finally see him pop out of the fog. And he actually breached like once, like right next to us, which is super cool. And like you could just like see his silhouette in the fog. So fog whales are tough, but we made it work. And for the past week, I've been doing maintenance and grinding my life away, which is always fun. I came back home yesterday after grinding all day, and I found like a metal strip of wire wheel like in my leg. There's like something bothering me, and I was like, "What is that?" And there's like a little wire wheel in my leg. So that's what I'm doing. Are you wearing
pants or shorts?
Yeah, of course I'm wearing pants. I'm all bundled up, even though it like by like 2 or 3 o'clock when we're wrapping up, it's like pretty hot out. You still gotta wear long sleeve, otherwise you get crap in your arms.
Yep.
But yeah, we got our first round of primer done for the areas that we needed to get done.
Welcome to the
I gotta do
Work podcast.
I saw dinosaurs on my drive across the country.
Oh, really? Actual fossils.
Yeah, fossils and footprints. And
you're not talking about those ones on the way to Vegas when you look over and there's like a long neck.
No, not those.
A long neck.
Not the ones on the Sinclair gas station either. No, I saw like real fossils. So that was cool.
Imagine she saw a Basilosaurus.
That'd be cray.
In the middle of the
country.
That would be
from
like
Southern America, South America.
Wrong country and area.
No, they think it was a Triceratops.
Nice.
And then the footprints were something else. I don't remember what it was. Has like 3-pronged feet.
Have we not talked for all of November?
No.
Yeah.
I started driving mid-November, so yeah.
Okay, we did a podcast in the beginning of November.
Yeah.
Or we stacked them up because we were busy.
We racked them all up. Yeah.
Fam bams.
Oh yeah. But I'm saying, like, what was the last thing I saw?
Offshore killer whales was the next sighting after what you'd seen.
You just hit it with the offshore killer whales right off the bat?
Yeah, because that was like the next thing you saw after we recorded.
So you're just gonna put those 4 little orcas I found the day before, put them to shame?
Yeah, they don't count.
Adam can tell you all about them because I didn't know who they were, and Adam.
Nobody knows anything about them because people hoard information and hide information. But I do know that there is a smiley face on one of the orcas. So that's
What's an
On the
Adam's
saddle
car?
patch or what?
it's on the saddle patch, yeah, like right behind the dorsal.
Yeah, you can. Adam like sent it back to me. He's like, dude, it's just smileys. I'm like, like how did you even zoom in and find that? Yeah, so I it started off with that day. We had lots of humpbacks around, but yeah, I found 4 orcas and they went down. Oh, they definitely killed a sea lion right when I got to them. They went down, popped up 1.5 miles away. I barely saw I barely saw them, went to where they went down. And then Kate was out, Blue Ocean. She was coming up behind, like she was coming up from behind. And she's like, now they're 1.5 miles back the other way. And then we lost them. So that was really cool because I had never seen them, but it was really sad because we didn't get very good of looks at them. But I have a feeling they just didn't want to be seen. Like, I don't think there was anything else to it besides that. And then there were 6 boats there and no one saw them come up. So it was like, that just shows you that if they don't want to be seen, they could easily get away.
Yeah.
Oh, for sure. Yeah.
Yeah. And then the next day the next morning, Caitlin and I talked. I don't know, Adam, did you talk to me that morning?
Yeah.
And because Kate texted Caitlin and I about the hydrophone, and she was like, "What is this?" And we were like, "It sounds like killer whales," but it was kind of funny. And then I think Caitlin said she thinks it's offshores. And sure enough, I went out there and I got way off of I got out of the bay to like 59, like right when I got to 00, actually, it started to get bumpy. And I was like, well, you guys, so much for exploring. I got on the radio. I was like, so much for exploring. I'm going to like turn towards SoCal and go back in. And I turn north to go to SoCal, and literally like 200 yards in front of me, I'm like, just kidding. Got him. And I get on the radio. And so I originally saw like 5 or 6, and then they went down. And as I was waiting for them, I was like seeing blows everywhere.
That's so nutty.
Yeah. And it was like, they weren't like close enough to be like, oh, they're all killer whales. So I kind of had to like start driving towards, the next blows. And then I was like, these are all killer whales. And it was like miles of these blows from like, it was weird because like I had already passed them too. So they were like some back behind me. There was some to the north, south, east, like all over. Then two of the Monterey Bay boats got there from Discovery Whale Watch. And yeah, we say 80 to 100 killer whales. I really truly think there was easily 100 or more. We all do, but I think we were just kind of being conservative on the number. At one point, every boat was like, I have 15 to 20 of them by me. And we were spread out over the course of like a few miles. And I think the best thing about the whole encounter is they could have been going like out to sea, you know what I mean? Or like south or like anywhere, but they were pointed east straight in the canyon. Like they were just funneling in the canyon so perfectly. And they took us all the way to the Pajaro. And that's where they turned around at. Like the ones that made it the furthest in got to the Pajaro, which is only like, 3 miles out of Moss Landing.
Yeah.
Oh, it was amazing.
Dude, that's
They're
like
hard to photograph though, huh?
Well, so it was like, yeah, that was the one thing about it was like, there's so many whales, yet you're seeing no whales. Like, you know what I mean? Like it was like they would come up here and then another pod would come, and it's like it was kind of very easy to be
patient.
Well, it was like even then they were just moving all over the place.
They were just
like
pong around.
Yeah,
it's like a tough group of Rizzos where like there's lots of Rizzos, but like you haven't been able to shoot a photo or stick with one group the whole time. You're just like, there's lots of dolphins if you look around, but I can't pick one. I can't figure out which one group is going where.
Something that was cool about the encounter was hearing all the older captains like Nick and Duke and Bill. I don't know who it was I don't remember. It was for sure some of them. And they were all like, man, I haven't seen these since, whatever, 80s, 90s, 70s, whatever they were saying, 2000. And because I know that you and I saw them in 2016.
Yeah. But I think we were December. One of the only boats that saw them.
I feel like there was one other boat out there. I can't remember who it was though.
It might have been Marine Life Studies.
That's what I think. I think they were out.
Yeah.
Because I remember, and it was like they had their own and we had our own. From what that encounter all happened so fast too. I think we were at the end of our trip or something.
Well, they were a long ways away. So I was in the wheelhouse. I can't remember it. I was in the wheelhouse when we got the call on the radio. It was a fisherman and he's like, there's a bunch of these big black dolphins around. There's like a lot of them. And we were like, what? But he was like out. Like he was way up north of Moss Landing, but also like pretty far offshore. So it took us a long time to get. It took us over an hour to get there, but we were like, we have to try. I mean, this sounds pretty interesting. And then I was like, Everett, what if they're offshore killer whales? He's like, I don't know. We'll see when we get there. And then sure enough, they were. But
Dude,
it was like one of those days where, like, you know, there just
crazy.
wasn't very many other boats out, and then they were so
I feel like we
far
were watching
away.
gray whales. I don't know why. Like
we probably went out to the point like you do that time of year, and then we just turned up.
Never mind. Now that I remember, looking back on that like SD card of that day, I had we were looking at 2 humpback whales that I had the drone over, and then we found those.
Offshores and like a gray whale predation are like the 2 things that like I know I can see in California. Like there's a chance that I can see that in California.
We'll get you a predation this year, 100%.
I haven't done it yet. Hope so.
The offshore killer whale thing, I don't know, dude.
Offshore
exactly,
is like,
it's just so random.
That's just
November
right place,
to
right
February,
time.
it could happen, but like the odds that you're out in the right place at the right time and the weather's good are just slim.
Yeah. Crazy.
I mean, can you imagine if you hadn't listened to the hydrophone? You would have never found them. Well, I guess once they came inshore, you would have found them. But
yeah, I mean, like even then, it was like I wouldn't have had the motivation though because the humpbacks were all pretty close, so I wouldn't have had. The thing is,
he always goes out though.
I always have to run out there because one, I'm the only one. If I don't, I'm like one of the only people that's going to run straight out there because most of the bigger boats kind of stop with what they can find.
Yeah.
Except for Kate, like she goes, and then except for Discovery Whale Watch because Danny and Rod just go west. Like unless it's rough, they go west. So, but that day everybody was Rod. Actually, Rod and Danny were going west, and that's why they got to me the quickest before Kate even got to me. I remember calling her on the radio and she was like, I'm going to throw up. I was like, there's like 20, you guys, like there's 30, like there's more. And then she goes, I'm going to barf later. Stop. I thought it was so funny.
That when she gets really excited, that's her response.
Well, because this is what I was telling her. I was like, where are you at? And she was like, I'm at the nub. I'm almost to the nubbin. I was like, I can see some in there, like in my eyes, they were like close to the nubbin, but they really were like not. They were like still like close to SoCal. And I was like, well, they're all headed right at you. So you're fine, you know? And she was just like so overwhelmed. My passengers this is what's cool is my passengers had booked those 4 days in a row. So they were out the first day and they had the 4, right? And then the second day we had the offshores, but then the third and fourth day, we actually had a really annoying easterly wind in the morning where it was like we could go out and keep going out. But anytime we had to turn around to follow a whale into the east, it was just like super, like just it wasn't even that it was like bumpy. It was bumpy, but it's like the spray, just like it's just annoying.
Yeah.
So yeah, the easterlies are super unpleasant. And then that was like the day I realized that I don't like easterlies. And I didn't realize I hated them that much until that day.
The nice thing is they do stop once the sun gets all the way up.
Yep. Right at 11 o'clock, it becomes the nicest day you'd ever been in Monterey.
Yep.
What else did we see after the offshores? We kind of had like a lull. Oh, we had like a lull for like, a lull. We had like a few humpbacks, like 10 or so. And then all of a sudden the day before Thanksgiving, like 30 humpbacks showed up. And we had like 3 different comp groups that day. I remember we had two groups of 4 and then a group of 6. And then this group of 4 and 6, they like ran into each other. And the female that was in the group of 6 was Angel Wing. And one of the males was Trainwreck, which I think Caitlin knows who Trainwreck is, maybe. I don't know.
If I saw a picture, maybe.
Yeah, which I don't know why I dislike that whale. I think just because his name's Trainwreck. And then, so get this. The next day, Angel Wing and Trainwreck, it's Angel Wing, Trainwreck, and some other male. Well, whatever happens, that male leaves and it's just them two. And I'm like, wow, they're coupled up for the season. Like Valentine's came early, and now Trainwreck and Angel Wing are gonna have a super cool calf because Angel Wing's calves have been Halo and Halito, and they're both like super. You know, everybody wanted to see those calves when they were here.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I don't know. There's too many sightings. A lot of humpbacks. Thanksgiving was absolutely insane. Oh yeah. Then Fatfin showed up for like 5 days in a row again, or maybe more. And then he left, and then we had more humpbacks, and then 2 days ago I had the CA 51s, which is that what you're getting to?
Yeah,
At
it's funny.
sunset, it was beautiful.
Yeah, at sunset, whatever.
Oh,
and stuff.
So
Glassy, calm.
I
Yeah,
literally
whatever.
get off my boat. I get like 30 minutes home. And so I brought Juan and I went out in the morning, and he obviously he came up here to see Fat Fin. And I was like, you should probably never come up here to see Fat Fin because he's so,
He's
unpredictable.
a tricky whale.
Yeah. And so I felt really bad. So we get in, and I knew he was going to go out on a whale watch in Monterey in the afternoon. So we get in, and right when I get like 40 minutes, or like right when I get like 15 minutes on my drive, Kate texts me and goes, "There's one male spotted in the nubbin." I'm like, no way. Literally, I went by the nubbin, and Kate went by the nubbin, and we went way offshore and came back and didn't see any killer whales. And they're like, one killer whale was sighted in the nubbin. And so we're like, it's probably Fat Fin. He probably came from like SoCal or something. And then like 30 minutes later, when I'm home, Kate goes, "It's Bumper." And I'm like, okay, well, Bumper's not by himself. So now, yeah. And I'm like walking to the car with a load of, we had to take some sheets to the laundromat. And I look at Margot and I was like, I gotta go. They're killer, like, it's a CA-51s. And so by the time I got there and out, they were just getting to the whistle buoy in Point Pinos when I got to them. And a quarter mile away from them, Mike calls out on the radio. He goes, they're splashing, they're going for sea lion. And I literally get there at the perfect time, and they freaking whack it right under the bow of his boat. And then Orion and Bumper breach, like, and I missed all of them. Like in a row, like just 3 in a row, and I missed all of them somehow because it was just too much going on. But yeah, right at ended at them like traveling in the sunset, like the most beautiful family you could ever find in the world.
So cool. They haven't been seen since like May or something. Like,
yeah, I guess I saw them. I guess
usually-
I saw them in May.
They're usually pretty consistent, but it's been a while.
Maybe because they got to teach that new calf.
Baby. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, the little calf was like, and it's nice because the little calf doesn't stay down as long, So I feel like it was definitely like Bumper and Orion were like breaching and being wet and like doing tail throws and just being crazy, because I bet you that they were like letting the little one, because the sea lion was just sitting at the surface for like probably 15 minutes before they actually just, and then I think they were finally like, okay, get it. And they just grabbed it. Like no one like hit it or kicked it in the air or anything like that. They just grabbed it, and the next thing you know, all the birds came, and then like a gull picked up some intestines. It was like seriously 3 minutes, and it was gone, maybe less.
Where they go? Like what?
I bet they're probably somewhere where the food is easy.
Like
they're like off Año Nuevo, just hitting the like snack button, like another one go in the water, another one go in the water.
Yeah, like if the food ever gets scarce, just come here.
Yeah,
exactly.
You really can't find anything. This is where the sausages hang out on the beach, and then they have to get in the water eventually.
Dude, they're probably backside of Miguel, freaking beating themselves on the sand, chasing elephant seals, and nobody knows.
Or at Año Nuevo,
So,
beaching themselves on the sand.
That is the one thing I want to talk about, because Caitlin and I have talked about this a lot, and a lot of people have the same like opinion as us on why the killer whales are here during the fall.
Elephant
But
seals.
like Fat Fin, he could kill I watched him go past sea lions. He could kill sea lions all day long if he wanted. I mean, like 1,000 in an hour if he wanted to, because they're everywhere. So I think that the reason why he's going on these 7-minute to 9-minute dives is because I think he's looking for elephant seals along these little ledges. Because he did the same pattern. He'd go right along the corner of the nubbin, then he would go straight across to the other side, and then he would come back, then go up to the nubbin. Like it was literally like this weird L kind of, or V.
Yeah, it's like,
and like he was doing the same thing. Same thing over and over. And so I really think that if he wanted to eat sea lions, he could. I think they want elephant seals.
Yeah,
who taught him that?
They're super fat this time of year.
Yeah.
Because they're coming into shore to sit on the beach for a month or more. So this is when they have the highest fat content, is right now.
Science, dude. That is science at its finest.
Yeah.
But we also see them a lot in Santa Barbara this time of year. So
yeah, but you have elephant seals coming back to the Channel Islands, don't you?
I guess so, yeah.
You see killer whales a lot, and
they're always kind of there.
Well, I think it's period in the fall and then winter. Like we used to always claim every year on January 2nd that the 51s are going to be in, I forget what date it was, or like December,
that's what it
January.
Was for like 3 or 4 years straight.
Yeah,
but
like 2014 to 16 or something like that.
Like in the past couple, like probably in the past month, I've probably had like 4 or 5 reports of killer whales. And we had 2 sightings in September and then early October. So like just like from October through December, like they just pop up a lot. And a lot of the fishing guys get them because they're going out to Rosa and Miguel and stuff. And we don't necessarily go out there unless we get a report early enough. But they're definitely around. Something about this time of year.
Well, I mean, even the other pinnipeds are in good shape, like, and pretty heavy this time of year. They're not quite at their heaviest, but like the sea lions have recovered after migration. Harbor seals are starting to gain a lot of weight because they're all about to give birth, in February and March and April.
Yeah, we saw the 140Bs, and they killed a common dolphin and a sea lion, but we weren't there for them. Other boats, that's what they saw. But still, I mean, like they're hungry, I guess.
Dude, they're around so much more than anyone knows. Like,
yeah, they are. They're just sneaky.
At least I don't know about in Southern California, but I feel like at least in like from Morro Bay or Santa Barbara and up.
Yeah, Morro Bay just had a sighting
Big Sur too.
Morro Bay just saw them yesterday or 2 days ago.
Elephant seals haul out.
Now Newport has them.
Yeah, so
everywhere.
That's my theory, and I'm sticking to it.
Boom! Let me tell you guys some science now. I wrote a huge episode for us.
Oh, huge. What is it about?
Yeah. Well, let me hit you guys with a brief intro on the North Pacific right whales. So, an article posted by NOAA. All right, get him, Caitlin. Hit him with the science, Caitlin.
The thing is, I write them all the notes, so they could just steal my thunder.
I'm gonna start putting my initials next to like half of these.
That's like stealing a photographer's credit.
Like, hi, Slater here with the new updated information. Okay, so there's 2 articles I wanted to talk about North Pacific right whales. We've kind of hinted at this in other episodes, and so I just wanted to give everyone kind of like a brief overview of North Pacific right whales before we talk a little more detail about them. So they are very similar in proportion and appearance as a North Atlantic right whale. So they're large baleen whale with a huge rack of baleen, so their jaw and their head is very tall. And they're black. They have no dorsal fin. They have a very straight trailing edge on their tail and a deep notch in the middle. They have these weird things on their heads called callosities, and those actually can be used for photo identification. And they are a highly endangered species that inhabits U.S. waters for part of its range. They eat copepods, krill, and other zooplankton. And they have been found in all the world's oceans from temperate to subpolar latitudes. But recent sightings of right whales have mostly, of North Pacific right whales have mostly occurred in the central North Pacific and Bering Seas. But they have been seen as far south as Hawaii and central Baja California. They also use the subarctic waters of the Bering Sea and the Sea of Ostok in the summer. In 1996, right whales were observed repeatedly in their critical habitat area, the southeastern Bering Sea during the summer. And there is really not a lot known about their current migration and movement patterns. From 1965 to 1999, they actually were harvested illegally by Soviet whaling operations. And there were 82 sightings of right whales in the entire North Pacific during that time period, and a majority of those were happening in the Bering Sea near the Aleutian Islands. And right now they don't know where their calving grounds are at all, but most known right whale nursery areas are shallow coastal waters, which is pretty similar to gray whales and North Atlantic right whales. So just kind of based off those 2 species, that's their best guess. They're currently managed and considered 2 populations. So there's the eastern and the western North Pacific. The eastern North Pacific is the ones on our side. So they're on the Gulf of Alaska and the Bering Sea. And then the western population is near the Commander Islands, the coast of Kamchatka, the Kuril Islands, and the Sea of Ostok. There's not very many reliable estimates of the current number of North Pacific right whales for either population or the species as a whole, but they think it's in the low hundreds or maybe even less than that. Before whaling, they think there was as many as 37,000, and they were drastically reduced in their population in the 19th century by whaling. They think they live about 70 years, but there's not a lot of information about that. They do try and get fresh carcasses when they get reports of them, and take the ear bones or the lens of the eye and try and determine how long the whale lives. So they're like lens of their eye like lays down these, like, I think they're like protein layers. And so it's kind of like teeth, It's a more permanent record than baleen, so you can like cross-section it and count the layers and then estimate their age. And of course, like all large whales, their threats are ship strike, entanglement, ocean noise, and then these two are more prevalent because they feed so low in the food chain, harmful algal blooms and climate change. Because when you feed like in the plankton layer of the food chain, like things like algal blooms and stuff can really have a pretty dramatic effect on you. Sorry, Slater's sad already.
Well, it's just so dumb because imagine like
37,000.
they're like
imagine
they
them being like freaking humpbacks.
Yeah, but they're saying like the data is collected from, ones that are dead, right? And it's like, can you imagine the one you find has been hit by a boat? It's like no one even got to enjoy it.
Yeah.
Stupid.
And it wasn't out there doing good things for our environment like it should be. Okay, so last year there was a survey conducted. It was like one of the NOAA large whale surveys. They hadn't done one since 2015, but they did one in 2020 despite all the challenges of COVID. And they saw 4 North Pacific right whales, and they were where? Ecstatic. So they were in the Gulf of Alaska. They sighted one pair in August that was just south of Kodiak Island, and one individual was actually matched to that Haida Gwaii sighting in June of 2020. So remember those photographers went out and did an expedition in British Columbia to go to Haida Gwaii, and they found 2 North Pacific right whales, or 1 North Pacific right whale. Wait, or something.
Where in Hawaii?
No, British Columbia. It's called Haida Gwaii with a G.
Gotcha. I was like, what?
So they saw 2 North Pacific right whales in June that year off the BC coast. And then, northwest from there, one of those whales was the same individual from that June sighting. It was sighted in August. So that's pretty cool. And then the second pair was sighted 3 days later on the survey, about 100 miles west of the first location. And they were about 30 nautical miles south of the Trinity Islands. And that the area they noted was actually outside the designated critical habitat for North Pacific right whales. So pretty cool. The scientists were stoked because like a lot of times those surveys don't see any, and they saw 4.
And are those, or are they cow-calf pairs, or are they just pairs of whales?
Just pairs of adults as far as I know.
Okay. And wasn't there a sighting last year or 2 years ago in Japan? That was obviously
yes, I think so. That was probably the Eastern population.
Right? But they think the Western's a lot more diminished.
Yeah, so there's a little more information on that with this next article, which is also put out by NOAA. So it's I'll put the links to these in our Facebook comments like I always do when I post the episode. But this report just came out recently, but it was from older survey data. This was November 29th, 2021. They finally had this report prepared and published. So there was survey data from 2017 and 2018 that was a partnership between the International Whaling Commission and some others that surveyed just the remote Alaskan waters, as far as I know. And they also just wanted to make a note that during the 1960s, they think that Soviet whaling took more than 770 North Pacific right whales, and neither population has recovered. They think that the Eastern North Pacific population is around 31 individuals, and it's a very highly skewed ratio. There's a lot more males than females, and they only think there's about 10 females, period. I don't even think that's 10 reproductive age females. That's just like 10 females at all.
Oh,
gosh.
So, so their 2017 and 2018 cruises, let's see, where'd I go? 12 of them, 12 North Pacific right whale, or 15 individual right whales were sighted between the 2 years, 12 of them in 2017. And that was the most seen in a single year cruise since 2004.
12, wow.
Yeah, 12 in one cruise. So then the other 3 were sighted the next year. Can you imagine you come off that 2017 cruise and you're like, yeah, we saw so many right whales. And then the next year you only see 3. You're like, oh, this sucks.
Unfair.
Yeah. So then they were able to photo identify quite a few of the whales. 9 of them were matched to their catalog, so known individuals. 4 of the 6 unmatched animals were definitely confirmed as new individuals since the last survey. And they think that that means that there is 4 more individuals in the population than there was before. So now instead of 22, there's 26 in their estimated population. Oh my
They're growing.
God.
That's a
Less
good increase.
than 30. And then they also saw a juvenile whale in 2017. So that was like a big cause for hope because like at least they're still reproducing, right? Like they made one.
Yeah.
So they named him Phoenix because it's a symbol of hope. And it's the one of the main researchers, I guess she's from Phoenix, is her hometown. So they named that juvenile right whale Phoenix. They also had a very far north sighting that kind of like changes people's thoughts about the whale's range. So they saw a whale just south of St. Lawrence Island in the northern Bering Sea, and they had reports from Alaskan native hunters that there were right whales in the area, but they actually were able to confirm that and document it. So, and then they were able to biopsy sample 6 whales, and they ended up being 5 of them were male and 1 was female. And they think that the male to female ratio actually might be even more biased than they originally thought. There might be even less females. So they saw 2 eastern North Pacific right whales in their survey, even though they were working off the coast of Alaska. And they did retrieve, I believe, a hydrophone that had been deployed for quite a while on the seafloor, and they actually documented right whales singing. So that there was a lot of like speculation on whether they used to sing or not, because they do make like grunts and this weird like gunshot call thing, but they haven't really had a good documentation of song. But North Pacific right whales do actually sing, which is pretty cool. Bowhead whales sing too, and they share range. So
did you see the photo of the fluke where it's fluking up in that article? It has killer whale teeth marks on it.
Oh, does it?
Not really.
Yeah, it's just like and you got to fight killer whales.
Yeah.
Dude, orcas are just
on the tips of both flukes.
Yeah. Dude, what? It's so funny because killer whale rake marks on every whale they look, you know what I mean? They just are the same. It's like on gray whales, humpback whales.
We saw them on blue whales this year.
The blue whale, that's crazy. Think about it.
Killer whales don't care. They're like, I'll pull on your tail.
They just don't give a crap, dude.
Dude, think about grabbing onto a blue whale's tail and it's like.
Well,
the killer whale just like,
it must have been Monterey Bay Whale Watch several years ago. I thought got footage of it. Didn't they get footage of it?
They got
drone footage. They went off it and the blue whale just dove like down.
Yeah, freaked out.
Yeah. I mean, I've seen them freak out from Rizzo's. That's what I wonder. It's like, but there was no top teeth, so it's definitely like gotta be killer whales, like bottlenose.
Oh yeah, no, that's definitely killer whales. I mean, Rizzo's teeth are so spread out that it doesn't look like that.
I do feel like if they had teeth on the top, they would bite other things too.
Maybe they are kind of mean.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. They're grumpy.
So that's what we know about North Pacific right whales. We're definitely considering between the 2 populations, less than 100 animals is what these recent surveys are indicating. They are using bioacoustics in addition to visual sightings while they're doing surveys. They also have hydrophones deployed all the time that they retrieve on like an annual basis. So they're trying as best they can to understand these animals, but there really are not a lot of them. So you thought North Atlantic right whales were bad. North Pacific, it's like.
So you're saying my dream of seeing one is probably not going to happen?
No, I got you, dude. I'll get you.
So you're crushing my dreams, is what I'm hearing.
I think that you should double check every gray whale you see because it's a heart-shaped blow and it's an animal with no dorsal fin. And like they've definitely been seen off the California
Yeah, but they're
coast.
bigger than gray whales. Wouldn't you like immediately?
Okay, but from a
recognize?
distance, you don't know.
Hey, you know how many gray whales? I'm like, man. I'm like,
You're like, it's just a gray whale, and then you move
Well,
on.
man, I can't tell you. There was just one day where there was literally 80 in one trip. No, like easy. Like
Mm-hmm.
everywhere you look, there was groups of 2, 6, 20, like just all
Especially
over.
when they fluke, like look closely at the fluke shape during gray whale season.
Yeah, if it kind of looks like a humpback, but it's got no freaking trailing
like
edge.
if it looks like a
Well, it
blue
has a
whale
trailing edge,
tail
but
on the
doesn't
gray
have
whale.
yeah. True. It's like, yeah, because
I gotta find this picture of the one. There's one seen off of 2017 off of Anacapa, and somebody got like an awesome picture of it, like spy hopping or like.
Yeah, I
sticking
think
its
it
nose out.
breached.
Yeah.
That was the same year that there was one scene rolling in the surf and the news caught it on accident.
Yeah,
They're like, oh,
yeah.
there's a gray whale playing in the surf with the surfers. And everybody was like, what?
how did you? I found
That's
it.
a
I
right
Googled it. And
Yeah,
it was
right
right
whale
here.
off of Anacapa Island in May 2017.
I don't even think it's spy hops, dude. I think that's just how they lift their head up.
But it's just
No,
crazy.
it's definitely up a little more, but it's funny.
Something. But like, could you imagine? Like, I'm just like, oh, look, this gray whale. Holy crap! It's not a gray whale.
Isn't that funny that this one photo gives you so much hope, Adam?
It does. And that's Anacapa,
You know what I mean?
dude. That's freaking 20 miles away from me right now.
It's not even that. It's just like it gives you hope that you could see one.
Yeah.
Yeah. And 2017, that was 4 years ago. I can wait 4 years. I'll see. I'll be here.
Or
4, dude.
Motivation to live a long life. There's more whales to see. So the other thing I was thinking while I was reading these articles is like this collaboration and like these surveys are definitely commendable. And I don't know the details as to why this report was just published by NOAA 4 years later, but like a lot of stuff can happen with a fragile population like that in that short of time. So like how can you possibly like effectively manage the threats to these animals when our oceans are changing so quickly? If like this is how long it takes to put out an international collaborated report. Like,
well, it's also like,
yeah,
we see how difficult the Atlantic population is dealing with entanglement and ship strike. It's like, what if we see our freaking first North Pacific right whale and it's in a freaking net? I'll cry. And I'll jump off the boat and I'll try to save him.
Or it's dead on the beach somewhere
I
off
would
the
literally
California
save
coast
it so
and no one knows why it died. Like, then what do you do?
I would save it so fast the right whale wouldn't even know what saved it. I'd freaking be using my teeth on the net.
So later be like, I don't know what I'm doing, but it's helping.
I'm riding the whale. I don't know if it's helping.
Like whale riders in that film from New Zealand.
Is that what whales are those?
That's so sad.
Southern right whales.
They are, right?
Yeah.
Where did we watch that?
Did we watch it at your house or did I just tell you need to watch
No,
it?
I think we did watch it at my house. I feel like it was one of those days we started watching like all those PBS documentaries and stuff.
Probably.
Where the podcast all got started.
Well, listen, I'm not giving up hope yet. We shouldn't give up hope on the North Pacific right whale, especially the eastern stock, because it hits home, and
all right, let's just hit him with it.
If we need to go to the Trinity, what is it? The Trinity Islands, the Tree Islands, what is it?
Trinity or Kodiak.
Yeah, the Triniac or Kodiak, dude. If we need to
Triniac, dude. All right, let's just hit him with the news, you guys. We're running North Pacific right whale trips next season. We don't know what time of year we should do it yet, though.
Oh my
or
God.
where.
Or yeah.
But if they can see 12 from a plane, we can see 1 from a boat.
Dude, let's just do transect lines. Dude, it's not even
No, dude,
good.
those were ship surveys. That's when they
saw
they
were?
them. Yeah.
Oh, we'll just spend 4 months of the year out there and we'll find one.
Well, it's kind of like you guys want to do a bowhead whale trip after we
Hey,
we talked about all those.
That's still on the books.
Still on the books.
Nobody has a boat up there, I guess, dude. I called him. They don't even. He's like, yeah, you're gonna have to walk along the ice because nobody has a captain license. I'm like, what?
We're like, what we do? Can we take? I really
don't. I really don't want to, but if I need to talk to Putin to get me some bowhead whales, I will do
some Russian sea time instead of Alaskan.
Yeah.
telling you, if we can go to what is it, the Falkland Islands? Oh my god, dude, I'll cry right now. And when I'm there,
Or the freaking Aleutians, dude, the biggest
nah,
killer
dude, the
whales that are,
Falkland
like,
Islands are
killing
absolutely
gray
nuts.
whales.
I've
Is
heard
it Falkland?
there's lots
Falkland?
of killer whales there too.
The
What, the
Aleutians?
Aleutians?
Off the Falkland Islands.
Yeah, that's why I want to go there.
What about
It's
the
like
Falkland
literally the
Islands?
greenest background. You cry. The thing is the tears get in the way of the viewfinder. A whole thing happens. It's not a joke, you guys. You guys are taking it lightly, but it's not. It's serious.
It's just like I've said it a million times in the podcast, but I think the North Pacific right whale is like, if I could take any whale on the entire planet, it would be that one. If I could see anyone, I think it'd be that. Like, that's crazy.
Oh, is it, you
There's
guys?
26 of them. Like, come on.
I just found a new island to go to. The Kuril Islands.
Yeah, that was on the list.
Is it?
Our list is extensive.
That was an area they surveyed, or
It's
part of
in
the
Russia.
range or something. Yeah.
Oh, it's because oh, never mind. Yeah, it runs right into the Oh my
so
god,
See a
dude.
right whale.
The eastern population, the western population is seen off Commander Islands, the coast of Kamchatka, the Kuril Islands, and the Sea of Ostok.
It's stupid that you can't just fly to False Pass, by the way. Like, so, dude, if you could take a boat all along all of the Aleutians and then just cross and go to what are those? The Andrian Islands? Andrea of Islands?
Slater.
Rat Islands? I didn't even know there was a thing called the Rat Islands.
Slater, guess who has a boat? Guess who has a boat? Guess who has a truck?
Yeah, I'm gonna cross the Bering Sea in my boat. Is that even the
my 20-foot boat? Center
Dude,
console.
whatever.
I'm gonna cross the Bering Sea, Caitlin, in my 20-foot boat.
Hey,
I won't even go 20 miles out of
Monterey. Look at the
Hunger
map.
for
It's only this
exploration.
big. You can make it.
Yeah, I won't even take my boat to the
60-foot seas out there.
won't even go to the
Slater.
Farallon Islands, and he wants me to go to the freaking.
Slater, we have a tank full of gas and a hunger for exploration.
Oh my god, you too.
And then we could go right near the Near Islands.
Yeah.
Anyways,
We're getting off topic now.
You
We're
guys are
talking
getting a
about
little
It's because we ran out of topic, dude.
You know what we haven't
It ended.
you know what we haven't done for a while is this secret whale of the week.
Oh shit! We just forgot about our people.
I guess. Should we just have it be
We all know what
Phoenix?
it is. It's gonna be Phoenix.
Yeah.
The homie. I'm gonna see Phoenix
I'm
one day,
kidding.
and then those researchers, I'm gonna get a drone photo of viscosities, and it's gonna look like a
And
Phoenix
then they're gonna be
because-
like, "Sir, you were
Oh
not
my
supposed to
gosh.
fly your drone over North Pacific right whales." But
Well,
thanks for
whatever.
the ID.
Yeah, exactly.
Dude, at that point, it's for freaking science. Doesn't matter what you get.
I'll be like,
aboard.
sorry, I thought it was a gray whale.
Yeah. And then they're like, we have on episode 97 at 38 minutes and 46 seconds, you said you thought it was a gray whale.
And then they're gonna be like, "See, I told you whale watchers are too dumb to keep the whales apart." Like, thanks.
Oh boy.
Anyways, if you made it this far, thank you for listening to us ramble after we got all excited about North Pacific right whales. We
I'm gonna see
appreciate
one.
you.
I don't care what you guys say. I don't care if it's episode 462. I don't care if it's episode 1497. They're gonna pop on and be like, Adam
Dude,
saw
1000?
North Pacific right whale.
Okay, how many years has it taken us to get this many episodes, Caitlin?
Almost 3.
So 3. So
Whatever, dude. We're gonna do this for the next 40 years of our lives.
Nine.
Buckle up.
Whoa, dude.
Buckle up.
Our podcast still gonna be popular in 40
It's gonna take
years?
us 15 years, dude. We're gonna be on episode 1497, dude, in 15
Whatever,
years.
I don't care how many years it takes. I'm gonna see North Pacific right whale.
Adam's like 45, dude, and has just a mustache still. All right, you guys, thank you so much for listening. We really appreciate it. 97, 3 away from 100. If you guys aren't following us on social media, it's at Whale Nerds. And then our website is thewhalenerds.com. You can find all sorts of cool information on there about us and the podcast and about our trips this coming spring.
Yeah.
Skeet, skeet.
Hopefully we'll see you there. Thanks,
Thank
everyone.
you.
Later.
Bye.